Welcome to Prunership Diaries. Today we have with us Sridhar H.R., who is an academician, a quiz master, a logo designer, and a branding fan. He has been working as an assistant professor with the MBA department at BMS College of Engineering, Bangalore, for the past 10 years. Apart from this, he has a side hustle, a quizzing firm called Th.ink Quizzing, where his designation is the chief thinker and quiz master. He has hosted around 100 quiz shows for different audience from schools, colleges to corporates on topics ranging from business, sports, general quiz to niche topics like cinema and coffee. As a logo designer, he has worked with business establishments who wanted to leave their mark literally and metaphorically in their area of business. He has designed logos for 20 businesses across various sectors like sports, jewels, e commerce, salon or spa, education, media, etc. And I have been a student, albeit a short while I was studying MBA. It is such an honor to have you here, sir. Welcome to my show.
Thank you very much, Shweta, for this invitation. And the pleasure is mine, and I'm very excited to attend this. And hopefully, it turns out to be good for both of us and for the audience.
Absolutely. I am really excited for this interaction as we have someone who personifies MBA, that is marketing, branding, and advertising.
Advertising. That's how I call MBA. Yes.
Yes,
For me, it is about marketing, branding, and advertising. Yes.
absolutely. So
Yes.
let's get started then. Um, so, I,
Sure, sure.
so my first question is I think many of us have this question, like as young adults, we're always faced with this dilemma of what vocation or career to choose. In your life at that point in time you were very clear on the careers which you didn't want to choose, so how did you decide, and did you have a vague idea on what you intended to do with your skill sets at that point in time?
I had absolutely no idea of what I wanted to do. See, when I was studying, let's say PUC, Preneur in my native Hassan,
Mhm.
the only thing on my mind was to become a doctor. I had never, even in my wildest dream, dreamt of becoming an engineer. I don't know for what reason I never wanted to become an engineer, and I had no guts to tell this to my parents. I was studying, hoping and thinking that I would become a doctor. I always visualized myself as a doctor, and people who used to come and who talk to me at my house, the relatives, and they used to say, "You make a good doctor. You make a good doctor." That way probably that had they sowed a seed in my mind of being a doctor.
Right.
But over a period of time I realized that becoming a doctor might not be my cup of tea in terms of the duration, in terms of the financial commitment. It takes around 10 years, and
Yes.
I had to start earning early.
Hmm.
And but I didn't want to do engineering. So one day I gathered some courage and informed my parents that I didn't want to study engineering. And they explained to me that the benefits of doing an engineering course, as in 4 years you can finish it and you can get on with jobs and all of those. But I said no, I cannot do engineering. Then
Hmm.
my father was very sensible enough to understand that there's no point in forcing somebody to study something when they don't want to do it. And he said don't try to CET at all. There's no point, because medicine I can't help you study that, and engineering you don't want to study, so there's no point in writing CET, so check it. And I remember my principal had called my father, and he was just worried that in the entire college I was the only one who had not taken CET. And he just could not digest this fact that a parent was listening to his son who might not be experienced enough to know the worldly ways. But my father said there's no point in forcing him. So
Hmm.
that way, to answer your question, I had absolutely no clarity after I decided I didn't want to do engineering.
Right. Right.
I just tried to do what alternatively I can do without engineering. So
Hmm.
that is when I chose BBM, and in turn of events, I came to Bangalore to study BBM. So at that point of time, I had no idea of what to do, what skill sets I had, and what am I going to do. All I wanted was a job at the end of the day.
Yes. Yes. I mean, wonderful, sir. I mean, I would really appreciate your parents for actually listening to you and supporting you in your decision that, I don't want to do engineering. And I think it really goes a long way because I'm sure, I mean, as students or many, I mean, the people in their teenage years or young adult life, they would always have this confusion, like, I think the easy options would be engineering or medicine at that point in time. But I think with what you said, it's just beautiful, because I think when you know that you don't want to do something, I think just leave it at that. And of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
many things will always fall into place, and pertaining to your skill set, and I think you will always find it.
Certainly, and I think like we don't have answers at any point of time. As we just go ahead, we just get them. We just discover ourselves, and we just find ways.
Right.
Can I quote an example here, which I was reading somewhere?
Yes, sure, please.
I was reading a book sometime, and I read this beautiful, one paragraph, like a example they gave. They said that when you start a, let's say it's night, it's dark, and you have your car.
Hmm.
When you switch on your car, you switch on the headlights too.
Right.
See, how long can you see with the headlight? Not till the destination, right? When you switch on a car, probably 10 feet or 15 feet is what the headlight, makes the road visible.
True.
With that visibility, we go further, and the rest of the roads opens up and you reach your destination.
Yes.
So probably something like that. We're just too scared to get on to do what we like to do. But we have to realize that as we start doing, the doors open up themselves. We realize what are the ways to get things done.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So rightly said, sir. And thank you for that example. It really fits the bill.
Yeah, all credit to the writer.
Yes, absolutely. Right. So, I mean, I understand then you finished at BBM and then you moved on to MBA. And after graduating for MBA, you worked as a copywriter at Grey Apple, an ad agency, and moved on to teaching. So, what triggered you to make this transition from copywriting to teaching, and why? How did that happen?
See, when I was doing studying my MBA,
Mm-hmm.
I somehow picked a passion for advertising. I loved advertising, and I wanted to be a part of that particular industry.
Right.
And I was really not clear of what roles, in what role or in what way I can be a part of it,
Mm-hmm.
or what was the way to get in.
Mm-hmm.
No, because advertising agencies do not come to colleges for recruitment.
Right.
We get other MNCs coming up for recruitment for different organizations, but advertising agencies never come.
Yeah.
Or even if they do, probably they would choose one or two colleges in the creamy layer, but
Mm-hmm.
not every college. So we don't get to know what kind of roles we have in advertisement agencies or how to prepare to work for advertisement agency. But somehow I had this. I have to get into advertisement agency.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so once I finished my MBA, what I did was I was not taking up any placement opportunity coming my way because I wanted to get into an ad agency.
Okay.
So I remember during the college also, after my MBA also for 3-4 months, I was walking around all the ad agencies, and I can clearly tell you there is no ad agency in Bangalore which I have not visited. I made a list of all the ad agencies, and every day I used to take a route map and go and visit every ad agency. But over a period of time, I realized it is not easy getting into it
Yes.
because it's a very close knit industry, and they have their own. They don't need MBS specifically for the role I was looking at. I was looking at a creative role, and they did not want an MBA. They wanted somebody who was good in English, as in English literature, or those kinds of
Right.
people who can weave words.
Mm.
And I had carried my portfolio, as in whatever I made myself. And finally, at the end of 3 months, I found a job as a junior copywriter in ad agency called Grey Apple
Right. Mm-hmm.
in Vasant Nagar.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I got into ad agency.
Okay.
But as soon as I joined ad agency and started working over there, somehow I was not happy with the kind of role I got and the kind of work I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, when I was outside, I had imagined it to be something. But when I got in, it did not match my expectations, or probably I realized, okay, this is not what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I do not blame the agency or do not blame the industry. Probably there was not a right fit.
Right.
Or we can say that, I did not get into the right place or right kind of a role.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I did not want to continue there.
Right.
Then I made up my mind, okay, let me do civil services.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought, okay, I can do civil services. And I came back to my native, started preparing for civil services.
Mm-hmm.
Then, I cannot sit at home and do prepare for civil services. How long can I prepare sitting at home?
Correct.
Then once I started discussing with my father, and he suggested, get into teaching, because teaching would complement your preparation
Yes.
for civil services, as in it might give you sufficient time to prepare, as well as something, the mindset is common, as in reading is common for both,
Mm-hmm.
so you would not feel you are working in a different industry.
Correct.
So that is how I got into teaching. But what happened is, the turn of events, as I started teaching, I started liking it, I started enjoying it, and
Yes.
stuck here. I just happy to be here, that's it. And I'm no more a civil service aspirant.
Aspirant.
I'm happy being a teacher, yes. So
Viewing.
that's how I got into teaching.
Okay, this actually leads me to the next question, which is very, very genuine, because so there are quite a lot of us who rely on the security of a job, rather than hopping onto exploring the various avenues of, starting or growing a business, where you could leverage your skill set in the best possible way. Do you see any gaps or areas to be changed in our education system pertaining to this mindset? Or do you think it solely depends on an individual? Because I asked this because you started with copywriting, but then you explored that field, and then you seem to understand that it was not the right fit for you, and then you moved to teaching. But then again, you had another goal to it. But then, while exploring teaching, you fell in love with it. I think that's something that your skill set matched to what you wanted to do. So, do you think there is a gap in the education system? And yeah, I would want to listen to your view on that.
So certainly, the two parts you asked, both are right.
Mm-hmm.
As in, is it individualistic, or has our education got to do something with this? Both are right. As in, see, I have read something about education system, and what happens is, our education system, the way it was created, the way it is designed to make us employees.
Right.
It is the curriculum what we design. Even now, let's say we are designing it in from the point of view of industry, as in, will my student have a skill set to suit a particular job?
Yes.
Will my student have a skill set to suit a particular company or an industry? This is how we are thinking, and probably there's nothing wrong in it. But we are probably molding all the students in a certain way to fit a particular job role.
Okay. Yes. Mhm.
That is how our curriculum is being designed from childhood, for that matter. Okay, I just saw a video long back. It was viral. Probably you might have also seen. It spoke about our education system. It says, what is A for? You tell me, Shweta, what is A for?
Apple.
Yeah, the question was, why should A for be apple always? Why are we trained to say A
I
for apple?
know.
Why can't it be something else? Why can't it be
And
anything which the
yes.
kid wants to tell you? You get it, right? So from that point, when the moment we are taught A for apple, B for whatever ball, we have been trained to say alike, think alike.
Yes.
That is how our education system has been designed, because they are preparing us for a particular job. So in this process, the individual skill sets are not explored.
Right.
And to give you another insight, when I was looking for a school for my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
okay, she is in a first standard right
Okay.
now. Let's say 3 years before, when I was looking for schools, I was looking for such schools who do not, examine her on her academics or anything. That's called alternative schooling. That is the new term I discovered back then,
Okay.
alternative schooling. But the problem here is, every alternative school, or the alternative schools as they call, everything is very very expensive. It is not affordable at all compared to the normal schools. Normal schools by themselves are very expensive. But if you're talking, I don't want to name the schools, but nevertheless, all the schools who are very famous for being good pioneers in alternative education, they are damn expensive. So when something like that is made unaffordable, people would want to settle down to something which is regular. And these regular schools are churning out students. And I am, really feel sad for students who are preparing for their IIT JEE from primary school.
Oh.
And that is what our schools are training. From fourth standard, fifth standard, they have Olympiads, they have JEE trainings, and I really feel sad for those kids, because they are being trained to become an engineer from fourth standard, from fifth standard. I do not mean engineer for the matter, any particular job. I mean, so that is the problem. And in my personal opinion, what could be, I think the new education policy is trying to bridge certain gaps of this, as in they're concentrating to train students on skills rather than on common academic criteria. That is one welcoming move. I have not read it completely, but nevertheless, what I have heard from other people is one is the skill based education, what they are trying to give.
Mm-hmm.
And one more point I want to make here is, see, all of us, let's say we, whether we study engineering or medicine or let's say management or for the matter anything, science, technology, we are not trained to, or we are not trained in the field of finance,
Yes.
because ultimately we are learning everything to, let's say, lead a life for which money is essential to whatever extent we require it. But in the schooling to the college, nowhere we are trained to learn about money management, how to make it, how to keep it, how to earn it, how to grow it. We never learn it. And like, as in, we are not never taught it. So I think that has to be made mandatory from the school itself,
Right.
because that is what is important. I
Mm-hmm.
am not telling that money is important, but definitely, to whatever extent people have money, they could earn money. They should know how to use and earn it and like grow it. So financial education is, I think, an elephant in the room which no one is watching,
Yes.
no one is seeing.
Yes.
And coming to the second part of it, as you said, individualistic,
Mm-hmm.
certainly, because not everyone is equally motivated, right? Not everyone is equally inspired.
Right.
Similarly, not everyone is equally willing to do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At this point, I would like to really appreciate what you're doing, because even before what we spoke last time, I've been doing the whatever you're doing with your life. Probably you're doing what you wanted to do, irrespective of what others ask you to do. I don't know, but I'm sure you're doing what you want to do, because otherwise you won't explore so much, right?
Yes.
You're keeping your inner legs in so many places, and I'm sure you would have become a better person. So it is highly individualistic. Not everyone is doing what you are doing, right? And not complaining or not commenting on their choices. That is their complete individual choice. But there are certain people who want to do some things, but they have that inhibition or inertia to just jump in and do it.
Right.
So it is also highly individualistic for people to get motivated and inspired and to be driven so much that a particular passion drives them in a certain way.
Right. Right. I mean, so rightfully said, sir. I mean, I so agree with you saying, pertaining to the education system. I hope, I think we bring about this change in the education system, right from the start, right from the grassroots level, where, we inculcate these things, probably pertaining to personal management or just about life skills. I think which is probably like missing in our education system. And thanks to you for bringing this up, and also letting us know that it's something that we all need to work about, probably with the education system. Probably somewhere we need to start and make that change. And
Right. Can I add one more
yes,
point
please.
just to add on?
Yes.
See, if another benefit of making people financially educated
Mm-hmm.
from school is, what happens is people stop chasing similar kinds of jobs
Yes.
because they know how to earn money. Let's say somebody wants to become a painter, somebody wants to become a potter or carpentry, whatever it is, whatever skills, whatever passions they have.
Right.
Why don't we? Why don't our children, or why don't we, get into such jobs? Is because we feel there is no money in that, or we can't earn enough money. Probably we don't know how to earn money because we are not being taught like that. I can't probably be earning money by painting. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
many people are doing it, but the numbers, the ratios are very less. The success rate is very less. So that way, if people are trained to look at money as a tool, that whatever skill you have, you can convert that into money, then probably we would stop chasing similar jobs, as in
Yes.
joining a similar kind of a company or fit into a similar kind of a role. You can choose what you want to do, but still earn enough money to survive yourselves and your family. So that is another importance of financial education from childhood, I believe.
Yes. I mean, so rightly said, sir. Yes, totally agree with it. And also, I think there needs to be a change of mindset. Uh, we always, or probably with our parents or with our generation or our parents' generation, they always sought to make us more secure in whatever job we chose. But I think somewhere, the essence of what we wanted to do got lost. I mean, either, as you said, anyone wishes to be a painter or a potter or an artist. I think we should probably encourage, and also I'm sure there'll be opportunities out there. It's just about we as a society, I think that needs to I think probably change. It should be a collective change in mindset of everyone. I think that's where we need to head forward. Yeah, so I would like
Right.
to leave it with that. And yes, so moving on. uh, okay, I'm getting to the part where how you got into being a quiz master, which I'm sure all the listeners out there would be wanting to listen to as well. So in your previous talks, you have mentioned that attending college fests on management, business helped you to gain confidence and knowledge, and you were also on a winning streak with many quiz contests and events. So, do you think this was the stepping stone to being a quiz master? And did you really envision yourself as a quiz master then?
Certainly no. Certainly no. At that point of time.
Okay.
See, whatever question you ask me, did I imagine myself as a certain thing? Never. Never in my life I have become whatever I wanted to become. Okay,
Yes.
it is just that whatever changes happened, I just quickly learned through that, and I adapted to whatever changes happened. So that way, if you ask me, if I had a hint of becoming a quizmaster back then, no.
Mm,
But certainly, see, I'm sure many people would agree with me. People who move from different places to Bangalore,
right.
we have our own set of inhibitions initially,
Yes.
from language, from the way we carry ourselves, how to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd here is different. We have that insecurity or inferiority complex, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Irrespective of how accomplished you are, it doesn't matter. Similarly, when I came in, I had my own set of challenges I had to face,
Mm-hmm.
and well, in the BBM, I had to thank my seniors. They got me into these management fests. So for what happened is, when we go to such fests, we get to meet a lot of people from different institutions across the country, across state, and we get to see that you're not different in terms of, they're also same. They have the same inhibitions. Other people are also sailing the same boat. They feel, looking at us, they feel okay. We are better than them. So I just, once I understood that, once this reality sunk into my mind, I became comfortable that okay, doesn't matter. Everyone is sailing the same boat. If I am looking at them and getting worried, they are looking at me and getting worried. And
Yes.
slowly and steadily, and I started winning. In the colleges, in my graduation, and that continued in my UG also, in MBA also,
Mm-hmm.
in various events, not just quizzing, in marketing, advertising, and let's say quizzing. So what these let's say 5 years taught me, the graduation in UG taught me, is that you just comfortable in your own skin, and I just started believing in my abilities. As in, I learned that I can prepare. It's not just being born with a particular ability. I just learned that I can learn and I can prepare for something. There is no big deal about it.
Right.
So that gave me a confidence, and more importantly, self-awareness
Mm,
of what I can do and what I cannot do.
right.
What are my strengths and weakness? So that self-awareness, once I got it, I became more comfortable and more confident about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Probably be it talking to others and carrying myself, addressing people on the stage. So once that inhibition is gone, I became more confident.
Right.
And even at that point of time, I was not clear of becoming quiz master.
Okay.
Even then, I just wanted a job. All I wanted to do then is get into an ad agency.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I mean, being a quiz master, I mean, over a period of time, what do you think are the elements or the characteristics that one requires to be a quiz master, according to
Okay.
you?
So, so before I answer this,
Yes.
I think I forgot to tell you how I became a quiz master
Yes, please.
in your last question.
Sorry. Yes.
No, 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 no. Even I forgot. See, what happened is, once I joined teaching,
Mm-hmm.
and in 2011 we had our first inter college management fest from our college.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We named it Quest.
All right.
So it was the first time our department was hosting Quest, and we were all excited.
Mm-hmm.
The students and the faculty, everyone were excited, and I was the coordinator. And we planned it, and it was going on well. So we had a quiz event, business quiz event, and when it came to who will host the finals,
Uh-huh.
we did not want to call in some quiz master because we did not have the budget, to be frank, at that point of time.
Right.
And when we asked students, they were, they did not want to take the risk. They hosted all the individual rounds and initial rounds, but the final they didn't want to mess up. They were not very confident.
Right.
So it just came to me. I said, okay, I'll do it,
Okay.
and I just did it. I just hosted the finals of that particular quiz.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happened was a chain of events which led me to becoming a quiz master. So the students of other colleges who had attended that particular quiz, so they went back and told their college how they enjoyed this particular quiz, and they had a quiz master who did a good job. So what happened is the other colleges started calling me. They called me saying that, okay, our students have attended your quiz and they liked it. Can you host the similar quiz in our college? I said yes, why not?
Right.
So this is how one led to another thing, and colleges started calling me because students were impressed with what we were doing, with what kind of quiz I was hosting. That is why I have to thank these students who just took that step to go and tell them that they really liked what they saw.
Yes.
So that is how over a period of time I became a common name, let's say in our university circles, where they started calling me for their fests or individual quiz events.
Right.
And sometime I thought, okay, let me give it a professional look.
Mm-hmm.
Till then I was just called as a faculty and they were just calling me. And someday I thought, what should I name it? And if I can give a proper logo and brand it properly, I can do better.
Yes. Yes.
So that was the point when I named it as Think Quizzing, and I named it as th.ink, Think Quizzing.
Yes.
And I was thinking, what should I name it?
Uh-huh.
And for that, I was thinking the objective of me becoming a quiz master, or why should I become a quiz master?
Right.
Then I thought I should be able to transform somebody from not knowing to knowing. Okay, after attending a quiz, they should feel, okay, I did not know all of these, now I know all of these.
Yes.
So I forcefully fitted these words into my th.ink. It says, that's hot, I never knew.
Oh, okay.
That's hot, I never knew. That's why there is a full stop. That's hot, full stop,
Oh,
I never knew.
okay.
Two, that's hot, I now know. That's
Ah,
hot, I now know. So I know I forcefully fit in there, but somehow I wanted to give a meaning to this term think, th.ink.
got
Of
it.
course, it has its pitfalls, as in my website cannot have a th.ink in between. It's still called Think Quizzing, th.ink Quizzing.
Yes.
But nevertheless, that dot gets people curious. They ask me why that dot.
Right.
So that is a conversation starter, and I can explain them what it stands for, and people, oh, they say, yeah, I can see that now. That but the transition of that's what I never knew to that's what I now know.
Yes.
So that's how I named our quizzing firm as Think Quizzing,
Mm-hmm.
and I designed the logo of chimpanzee thinking.
Yes, 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 I've seen that. And it is very
Yeah.
interesting, the story behind the think quizzing. It's really wonderful. And I would like to say that I think it's all about, I mean, getting exposure. I think you should just need to be ready and just go out there and do whatever that you're good at. And it can be anything. I think probably opportunities will just come by. Isn't that right?
Definitely, certainly. See, I feel luck favors the brave. Opportunity meets the prepared. I don't know whatever
Yes,
the proverb or whatever the line says.
right.
You just have to keep on learning and keep yourself open
Mm,
to opportunities. We cannot lock ourselves up and say I am not getting opportunities.
absolutely.
Somehow I have to be visible to people, and that's the essence of marketing, right? Being visible.
Correct.
जो दिखता है वो बिकता है, right? So
Yes.
if I'm not visible, so ensuring my visibility is one thing, and ensuring that I am worthy of their call, staying worthy of their call every time. That is more important,
Yes.
because people, if once they might call you, but if they're not happy with that second time, they're not going to recommend you to someone else, or they are not going to call you second time.
True.
Being prepared is very important.
Yes. I mean, that's so beautiful. And I'm so glad that, you just went ahead, even with all the inhibitions that you had earlier. I think while you were a student and attending the Managed Fest, I think you just went ahead and just been there, done that, and I think opportunities are, I mean, have come your way, and you have turned out to be the quiz master. I mean, that's wonderful, the journey. All right. So yes, coming back to my question. So, what do you think are the elements or the characteristics of a quiz master?
Okay. For this, I can say being eternally curious.
Curious. Okay.
That is the like soul of being a quiz master.
Yes.
Because curiosity is something which asks it, which probably we question ourselves and try to find why it is happening that way and find out answer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For example, if people are watching a football match, let's say, I am just keen on looking at their shirt, what brands are sponsoring them, who is the owner of that particular football team, what brands these players are endorsing.
Correct.
So I'm curious to know the business aspect of that particular game when people
Mm-hmm.
are engrossed in the match.
Right.
So being eternally curious is one thing, and inquisitive,
Mm-hmm.
asking questions to yourself to find out more answers in depth,
Okay.
and keeping ourselves informed.
Right.
And most importantly, being a learner.
Yes.
A lot of times we may go wrong.
Yeah.
See, I'll share an experience with you. Once I was hosting a quiz for school kids.
Mm-hmm.
It was an inter-college school competition, and I was hosting it, and it was a 3-week quiz.
Okay.
As in, it happened on 3 weekends:
All right.
Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
So, like many schools from Bangalore had participated, and in the finals, there were 6 teams on the stage,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked a question to them. Okay, and some team who are leading and who are really smart kids, he answered something,
Okay.
and I tell them you're wrong, and I give them some other answer.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and this kid stands up and proves me wrong on the stage.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's like this. For example, I had whatever question I had asked them,
Right.
and I had probably prepared it 3 days ago, 4 days ago for that particular quiz,
Okay.
and the answer was a certain answer.
Yes. Huh.
And this guy stands up and says, "You're wrong because yesterday it has changed."
Oh.
And that is how I was made to be wrong on stage, and I take it happily.
Yeah.
The kids are so smart, and they keep us on our toes. Even before I go on the stage, I had to just double check that nothing has changed.
Correct. Correct.
Nothing has changed. So that way, we have to be eternal learners. We can't be egoistic. We have to learn from everybody. And he was like 8th standard kid, and at that point, he like outsmarted
Right.
me and everybody there.
Wonderful. So the characteristic are being eternally curious, being inquisitive, being informed, and of course, being an eternal learner always.
Exactly. And apart from that,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to have a knack to ask a certain kind of questions depending on the audience.
Uh-huh.
You should know your audience, because let's say in a stage when you go, there might be different number of people and different kinds of people.
Yeah.
The questions you frame should suit them so that they enjoy it.
Correct.
That is very important. And let's say being witty and being somebody who can engage the audience is a bonus.
Yeah.
That will earn you brownie points.
Absolutely. So that leads me to the next question where I'm going to ask you. Um, so your quizzes, I mean, I have heard that your quizzes have been like, like fresh, not redundant, and always par excellence. So how do you go about this? In the sense like, ideation, collating questions or creating questions, and also driving the participants and engaging the audience as you just mentioned. So how do you do it all? Please
So
let
that
us know the
becomes
secret.
easy.
Sorry.
Yeah, please, no problem.
No, I just said,
Yeah.
please let us know the secret.
There is no secret. If you remember this film,
Uh-huh.
Kung Fu Panda,
Yes.
have you seen the film?
Yeah, the scroll and nothing is
When he
there.
ultimately opens the scroll, yes, there is no secret, right? There is no secret at all. Everything is in the open.
Yes.
It's just that, see, what I do, I'll tell you, my routine
Mm-hmm.
or my regime, I'll tell you. For different people, it might be different.
Yes.
See, I am a avid reader.
Okay.
Even though I am guilty of not reading as much I wish to, but yes, I do read. Probably above average reader, in terms of the books I read.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is when I read anything, I read a lot of business books,
Okay.
non-fiction a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, compared to fiction, and I am a regular reader of, let's say, newspapers, magazines. because that is my job. I have to stay relevant,
Correct.
whether it's for quizzing or whether it is walking into the classroom to teach something to somebody, right?
Exactly.
So what I do is I have a notes, I have a diary where I note down everything,
Mm-hmm.
everything which is interesting, everything where I feel some kind of a development is happening in terms of business management or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So and I have this notes as my Bible.
Right.
It could be of any domain. I have a note made,
Mm-hmm.
not much in detail. I just make a note of the brand name or some person in news, and I just leave it at that. So when I get an assignment or a project to host a quiz, I go through this particular book
Okay.
and I pick up these brands which I want to ask questions about. I pick up these people whom I want to ask question about. Then I start researching about them. I want to ask certain facts which people might not know.
Mm-hmm.
See, the fun or my objective of Think Quizzing is not to make quizzing difficult for people. See, it is not to ask difficult questions on stage and disappoint people. I want to disappoint the participants in a different way by asking them questions of known brands, of known people, but the story should be unknown.
Yes. Right.
Because I feel quizzing is a greatest form of education or educating people.
Right.
We just educate by asking questions.
Right.
So let's say a very familiar brand. I'll just give you an example to help you understand.
Mm-hmm.
If I ask you a question whose answer you have never heard of, a brand you have never heard of, a person you'll never get disappointed. You will feel like, okay, I
Yeah.
never knew it.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. Yeah,
Yes.
but I want you to feel disappointed by knowing I ask a question on Shah Rukh Khan.
Right.
Okay, you might be a fan of Shah Rukh Khan, and I ask a question where you
No
don't
the
know
answer.
anything about it. And finally, when I say the Shah Rukh Khan, you feel disappointed because I am fan of Shah Rukh Khan, and I felt I know everything about Shah Rukh Khan, and finally, this is something which I didn't know, and
Yeah.
you feel disappointed and you feel happy about the quiz.
Right.
So I frame questions that as my driving, path.
Okay.
How can I disappoint people on stage? Not that I want them to not answer it. I want them to answer it.
Mm.
But in case they don't answer, they should learn that okay, this is something which I did not know about a familiar people, familiar brand.
Correct.
So that is how I do my research when I frame questions. And as I told you, depending on the audience, depending on the participants, I make it easy or difficult because every quiz is not equally challenging. As in for the people,
Mm-hmm.
some quizzes we know that the crowd is really strong,
Right.
and the crowd, the participants should be really informed and they're prepared for it. But we also know that in certain kinds of quizzes, in certain kinds of
Mm-hmm.
institutions, the audience who come there or the participants who come there might not be so well informed.
Right.
So the same question I can ask in two different ways.
Yes.
That's one thing. Another part I take care is not to repeat a question.
Right.
Yeah, not to repeat the question as is, because the same participant might come there, and if he says, "Okay, this person has this question there,"
Yeah.
my reputation is damaged there. It's gone. So I just make it sure that I do not repeat any question in any of the quizzes. Probably that is why people like and appreciate the
Mm.
quizzes, which are hosted by Think Quizzing, because it's fresh.
Right. Right. Wonderful. I think there is one more thing. Yes. How do you engage the audience?
Yes, that is very important. What I do is before the starting of the quiz itself, I take them into my confidence.
Okay.
I talk to them as partners. We are hosting this quiz together, and I make them a part of my whole quizzing process. As in, of course, there are audience questions just to engage them,
Right.
but I something like a oath taking. I just tell them and request them not to scream out answers, not to discuss, not to make noise, because I enlighten them that this is a live show.
Yes.
This is not a recorded program. It is not a film theater. It is like a live show where something like a live play is going on. If a single noise or some kind of disturbance is there, the whole performance is disturbed, and they would be responsible for it. And like 9 out of 10 times, people are adhering to what I say and what I request. And of course, we have audience quiz just to engage them. And when participants do not answer, we go back to the audience, and many times they give out right answers. Probably they would have googled it by then, but nevertheless they give right answers, and they also get some kind of prizes and whatever has been organized. So that way I make sure that they are part of the question asking process and not just mere answering. So
Right.
we are more like partners. The audience and me are more like partners in the whole process.
I mean, that's wonderful, sir. I think to to first, of course, to engage with the participants with the questions, and also disappoint them through the answers if they do not know, and also to keep in touch with the audience, because they might probably feel bored, or they might just walk away because they're not getting it. I think what you're
Yes.
doing out there is like amazing. I think I mean, no, there's no wonder that you have been called for many quiz shows to host in many colleges. I think that really speaks about how commendable your work is out there as a quiz master. So that's amazing.
It's just being true to your audience, nothing else.
Yes.
And the tagline of Think Quizzing is engage, entertain, enlighten.
Wow.
And that is the order we have to follow. I follow. I want to engage people,
Yes.
entertain people, and in turn, at the end, enlighten them. It is
Absolutely.
not the other way around.
Absolutely. Yes. Wonderful. So this leads me to the question. Do you think exploring oneself or investing in our passion is important? I asked this question because you have been a copywriter, an academician, a quiz master, and also a logo designer, which we will be talking about in a short while. So, how do you balance them all? And do you think it's very, very important for everyone to explore?
Okay. I'll take it in two parts.
Yes.
First one, I'll tell you uh, uh, if it is important to explore.
Yes.
See, if you do not explore, you would not discover what you are capable of. We will have to try out a lot of things. Of course, we would not succeed in everything.
Yes.
I know my failures. Probably you would have mentioned. We are talking here because you would have felt I'm doing good in certain things or in certain areas. But I know the parts where I have not done well at all.
Correct.
I know the parts where I have been extremely bad at or I have failed tremendously. But that doesn't matter.
Yes.
The learnings which I've got from all of those are the ones which are helping me to become a better quiz master, to become a better teacher, to become a better logo designer. So we just have to go out and explore a lot of things. There is nothing wrong. Something we might do for 1 week, something we might do for 1 month, and something we might do consistently. And that what we do consistently is what we realize that we like. We drop a lot of things. It's like a book, I have a huge cupboard of books, and probably 80% of them I have not read yet.
Right.
Not because I don't want to, because a lot of times we just get some books, we read it, and half the way we lose interest.
True.
Some books, they we don't read them, they get us reading till the end.
Yes.
Our passions are like that. Passions are like that. We feel we are good at something or we like something. As we do it, we don't enjoy it. When we just have to drop it, there is nothing wrong in it. When I joined ad agency, I thought I might enjoy it, but I did not enjoy it, and I didn't want to force myself through the grind.
True.
So I just have to quit it. At this point, I just want to mention one more. I was watching this TED talk
Mm-hmm.
by film director Pawan Kumar.
Okay.
He's a very well-known Kannada film director,
Yes. Yes.
director of Lucia, U-Turn, yeah.
Yes.
And his TED talk, yeah.
No, sorry. I think I have watched that video, but I think now I've forgotten what it was all about. So yes, I'll listen to you what you have to
Yes,
say.
his TED talk title is something like this: "Please quit," or I quit," something like that.
Okay.
It's like do quit. It's not like everyone says don't quit, do it. No, he says do quit. There's nothing wrong in quitting. So his talk is something which is similar to, or probably it is on the lines of what I'm trying to help you understand. There's nothing wrong in dropping something. There's nothing wrong in quitting something midway just because you realized it is not for you.
Mm-hmm.
We can realize it only when we try it. Right?
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we would be imagining that okay, I should have done it. I should have
Mm.
done it. I just tried. I did not like it. I left it. Second one, I tried. I enjoy it. I continue it. So
Yes.
that way, I have tried many things, and probably I did not. Whatever I did not like, I have dropped it. I have stopped it. But whatever I am enjoying, I'm just continuing it.
Right.
As long as I enjoy it, I'm going to continue it. And I think people should give themselves a fair chance
Yes.
to grow and to learn by pursuing what they like,
Yes.
whatever it is. When in whatever way you get a return, it doesn't matter whether it is financial or otherwise, you might be getting a return in leaps and bounds in different ways. We just have to make ourselves open for it.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, I truly believe in that, investing in ourselves and also exploring would certainly take us a long way. I mean, very rightfully, like, just about knowing ourselves better, and where we can probably fit our skill sets, or probably there could be certain skill sets which we may not have explored at all. I think it just gives an opportunity for us to look deeper and see what we are good at. And yes, I mean, totally agree that one should explore no matter what.
Right.
Yes. So great. So I mean, I just did mention about logo designing. So could you let us know how logo designing started, and also how important is a logo for a company? I would like to ask that, and if you can also mention to us uh, the legal aspects to it. Let's say, I mean, I'm sure there are many listeners out here who are just starting off with a venture, or they want to get into a business. And so what does a logo do first and foremost, and the legal aspects to it, like probably with respect to the registration, or the validity of the logo? I mean, is it for a certain period of time? So if you can let us know about it, and firstly your journey into logo designing.
Okay. So again, I was interested in drawing from childhood. I have been drawing from as long as I remember. From being a kid, school, I have participated in drawing competitions and all of those.
Right.
And so that just gave me a knack of drawing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I had never explored the possibility of a logo designing. When I came in
Yes.
to management side or teaching,
Yes.
what happened is one of my friends, he is a assistant director in Kannada film industry,
Okay.
and he just came to me and said that he was starting up a film Kannada film website,
Okay.
a website which shares news about Kannada films and gossips and all of those.
All right.
And he asked me to design a logo for it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, they named it kannadafilmy.com, and he was doing it along with his friends.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me, I was keen on logos, as in, even before that, I was studying logos to understand them, but I never ventured into drawing them.
Right.
He just probably understood that I'm a good artist by looking at my drawing and all of those. He just said, "Why can't you just prepare a logo for me?"
Yes.
I said, "Yes, I can do that." And just understood from him what does he want,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and he gave me his brief. And I took some time, and I had this. You might know this term, creative's block,
Yeah.
creator's block,
Yes.
right?
Very
I was
much.
stuck at a point, and yeah, and you are full time into it, and you are maybe familiar about that more
Yes.
than me, the creator's block, right? And we have our own ways of getting out of that creator's block.
Right.
And I was stuck at a point, and I was designing certain things, certain designs for him.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted it to be very prominent as it is Kannada film, logo or Kannada film website. So he wanted something to denote Kannada, something to denote film, and all of those. I was thinking, how can I join all of these three?
Right.
And I was stuck somewhere. 1 week I could not progress.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly I was taking a walk around my apartment, and I saw these on the apartment blocks. You have these A, B, C, D blocks, right?
Correct.
And I saw this F written on my block when I was walking in my apartment, and somehow this F appeared to me like a camera, video camera.
Ah.
I did not know. If I show it to somebody, they might ask me like, "How does it look like a camera?" But at that point of time, somehow I got a hint that this looks like a camera, and somehow I was talking about filmy, Kannada filmy.
Yes.
So I could somehow tweak this F and make it into a camera and attach the Kannada flag. Somehow it turned out to be something which he loved it,
Right. Right.
and that was the first logo I designed.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when I shared it on my social media, a lot of other people started approaching me for logo designs, and it's like a same similar to my quizzing, word of mouth, chain reaction happened, and
Right.
people started approaching me. I never like promoted it, or I don't have a formal organization or a formal brand
Mm-hmm.
to promote it. It's just word of mouth, or people who are familiar to me. They probably tell somebody else like that. I know this person who can design a logo for you.
Right.
So that way, and today probably I have designed more than 20 logos,
Wow.
spanning different. I am happy because I have designed logos for three different organizations right now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which I cannot publish. As of now, they have not yet been formally launched by themselves.
Right.
So one is a sports event on the grounds of IPL.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is one I have designed and I have been accepted, but they have not yet launched it for whatever reasons. Second one is a e-commerce company,
Mm-hmm.
and third one, which I have designed for the first time, is for a trust.
Right.
Family Trust.
Uh-huh.
So I've designed logo for them. So these three logos were my recent works, which I cannot reveal.
Okay.
So I'm happy that I get to work in different sectors. I can design logos for different sectors.
Yes. Yes.
That is what I enjoyed the most of the whole process. The
Wonderful.
journey is. You asked me about the importance of logo.
Yes.
Yeah, if you ask, I'll tell you the process how I get the logo done, and I'll arrive at your question.
Right.
See, whenever somebody approaches me for a logo, I give them a questionnaire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Once they have to fill the questionnaire, as in which has basic information like the name of the company,
Right.
the industry they are working into, what meaning do they want to convey from that particular logo, who are their audience,
Mm-hmm.
preferred colors,
Yes.
colors which they don't want us to use. So we have certain questions, any other information, certain do's and don'ts.
Right.
So I get a fair idea and I do a brainstorming session with them.
Mm-hmm.
It is not as simple as just sitting in front of a paper and drawing it. I probably spend a lot of time understanding with the founders or the owners what is their idea of logo, as in what do they want the logo to stand
Okay.
for,
Mm-hmm.
what is the message they want to convey.
Yes.
So that gives me a clear understanding of how to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably based on that I give them certain designs, and one of the thought process they would like it, and then we will develop it further and we will finalize it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now that leads me to your question of how is a logo important. Logo is not a brand by itself. A brand is what people see as what a brand is, something as in what it means to your audience, what it means to your audience. That is a brand.
Yes.
Logo is the face of a brand. It's just one of the brand element, just like many other things.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very important because that is the visible part of the brand.
Right.
See, brand by itself is a thought, it is an idea,
Yes.
it is a promise, it is a trust, which is completely intangible.
Yes.
What is tangible is what is seen, what people can see.
Mm-hmm.
So if a logo as a face can communicate to your audience what a brand stands for, what it does. By looking at the logo, if a person can say, okay, they're in this particular industry,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a particular choice of a color will convey or will probably prick a particular emotion in the minds of the people.
Correct.
That is what the relevance of a brand is. What industry they are into, or what kind of a job they do,
Right.
what kind of audience they are serving. This is what people will understand by looking at a logo.
Okay.
Now, that is why they want to have it, individually. They want to stand separately from the competition.
Yes.
That is why everyone wants to have a logo,
Yes. Yes.
because they want to have a face for their brand.
True. Okay.
Now, coming to the legal aspects,
Mm-hmm.
see, as a logo designer, it is not my job to get it, registered or trademarked.
Okay.
No, at least me, it does not come under my scope of work.
Yes.
I finalize a logo, I create a logo, and give them all the files
Mm-hmm.
regarding a particular logo. But to answer your question, what happens is, if you, of course, you do not get your logo either trademarked or registered,
Mm-hmm.
there are chances that other people might copy it,
Yeah.
use it. You might not use it directly, but have a similar logo.
Correct.
Okay, but what happens is, if you as a brand have put in effort to build a reputation for yourselves, have built an audience,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you cannot invest in getting a logo, registered, trademarked, then you are just giving them an opportunity for someone else
Correct.
to steal it. It's like you have collected all the money with your effort and keep the door open at the night.
Ah.
It's as simple as that.
Right.
So you just have to be smart enough or be considerable enough to invest a small amount of money to get your logo registered. First of all, get a proper logo done
Yes.
and get it registered. When you apply for registration, you'll get a trademark very soon. And once they'll publish, the IPR department, they'll publish it in their journals and their website,
Right.
that a particular company has applied for this particular logo in this particular industry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they'll give other people to object if they feel someone else has similar logo already.
Yes.
So if there are any objections, the organization will inform us that you have to change because there is an objection. You can fight it over in the court, or you can somehow amicably resolve it.
Right.
Otherwise, you'll have to change the logo or change certain parts of the logo. This is the legal process. They'll publish it. It is in Chennai. The main office is in Chennai.
Okay.
The IPR, Intellectual Property Rights office is in Chennai.
Okay.
So once you apply on the website, we can apply. I believe 9,000 rupees is the legal fees.
All right.
If you do it individually, you can pay 9,000, or there are other lawyers or other people who can, professionals who are working in IPR sector, who can get it done for a fee.
Okay. Hmm.
So once you apply, as I told you, the process in the journals and in the trademark journals and in the website, it will be published. People can object if they want to object, or else at the end of the time period, if there are no objections, you will be granted trademark and finally registration. So this is what I am aware by speaking to people to get my logo
Okay.
registration.
Okay.
This is what I have understood.
Okay. I mean, thanks for letting us know about your journey as a logo designer and how it is very important for a company or a business to have a logo, because it is the face of the company and what you intend to put out to the audience as to what your company is all about. And
Exactly.
also mentioning about the legal aspects to it pertaining to the registration, I think, which is a must to be done if you are of course looking into your business on a very professional level and want to scale it and take it forward. Then yes, I think this is one thing that you have to do it. Right. So my next question is about marketing. You did mention that you being a quiz master and also with respect to your logo designing, it worked out for you through word of mouth marketing. um, so I would want your view on this, and also with respect to paid marketing, which may have become an essential thing to do with competing brands or companies. Uh, so what is it? I mean, how does it happen? Like, is it always through word of mouth marketing, or is it like someone has to go in for paid marketing? What does it depend on? How does it all work?
So it depends on a lot of
Mm-hmm.
factors. Uh, okay, let me put it this way. See, ultimately, the objective of every brand is to make people speak about them.
Yes.
So it's ultimately the objective is word of mouth marketing. Every brand wants people to talk about them positively,
Correct.
like positively, right? So in that effort, they will have to reach out to a lot of people. So to reach out to them, they will have to rely on certain paid kind of a promotion. Let's say, let's take an example of a film. When the film teaser is released,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, they will release the teaser on their, let's say, YouTube channel, a particular
Yes.
film. The publishing house, they can probably, distribution house, they can make it, or they can release it on a YouTube channel or some other social media
Correct.
platforms. But they want people to share it. They want people to make it viral. They want people to speak about it.
Yes.
So the ultimate objective is to make people speak, to make the audience speak it for themselves, and they talk to their friends and tell, "Have you watched this teaser? It's amazing. Please go and watch it." So ultimately, the reliance is on word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But to trigger that, you will have to somehow make yourself visible.
Right. Right.
You are a professional. Let's say, if people you want to, if you want people to invite you, or if you want people to give you job, let's say, first of all, you need to get an opportunity, right?
Yes.
It's up to you. How do you reach out to them? Whether you reach out to them, they reach out to you. You have to be visible. You can promote yourself on social media, or you can pay. You can use any form of promotion by
Mm-hmm.
paying. But ultimately, they get to experience your work. They are going to speak for you. They are going to recommend you because they know you'll do a good
Mm-hmm.
job. They would have got benefited. They want their colleagues to get benefited. They want their friends to get benefited.
Yes.
So ultimately, you would get benefited because of word of mouth marketing. But as a first move, you have to make yourself visible. For that, probably you may have to pay.
Correct. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think you put it very crisply and to the point. I just want to delve deeper into this. So, does the type of marketing depend on the quality of the product or service, or does it depend on the target audience that we cater to, or does it depend on the stage of the business, or or does all of this, I mean, all of these need to be taken into account while we do marketing? So if you can let us know through any example also, I mean, that'll be great.
Okay. Personally, I feel any one
Hmm.
element does not play a single role. It's a combination of all these factors always. Whatever you said, the kind of product or the service, the nature of the audience you're targeting, or the stage of the business a particular business is in, all of them definitely contribute to the kind of promotion they choose. Okay, for example, if I have to give an example, mm, uh, I don't know, I'll just give a hypothetical example. If your audience are young, are too young millennials, they're on Instagram right now,
Yes.
because people who are on Facebook are considered to be old right now. Yeah, so everyone wants to get on Instagram. So when you're targeting a young audience, you've deliberately moved to your
Right.
the place where they are, because brands always follow the crowd. Brands always follow the customer. It is never the other way around. So wherever the customer moves, the brands have to be there. So if someone like a KTM in a bike or something which is targeting a young
Mhm.
audience, they want to promote, they will definitely choose something, and a platform which the young customers are using, which the young audience are using, be it any
Mhm.
brand.
Mhm.
Okay, that could be one example. And not only that, they might also consider the kind of product.
Yeah.
Okay, if it is an industrial product, probably it might not work well on Instagram at all.
Correct.
It might be, for example, a bulldozer. You don't have to promote it on probably Instagram. Answers the question of nature of the
Yes.
product. So that way there are a lot of elements, probably there are more elements than we have probably discussed
Mhm.
right now.
Mhm.
All of them are contributing to a choice of promotion, the kind of promotion you choose.
Right.
That's what I feel.
Right. I mean, so true. I mean, as you said, you cannot market a bulldozer on an Instagram. So, yes, I mean, it needs its own probably forum to probably put out probably their website or Facebook. I think for a business or for any solopreneur or entrepreneur, I think they need to do the homework about which platforms to market on, and because they have to reach out to their target audience. I think this is a certain homework or a certain stage that they have to go through themselves to figure out where they have to put out their work. I mean, either a product or a service. So thank you for that, sir. Moving on, so with many virtual businesses on the rise, I mean, considering the pandemic as well, because we have like some companies who have like re-strategized the way they operate. Probably they are more online now, and pertaining to the opportunities as well, pertaining to the startup boom since 2016-17. So there have been many online businesses or virtual businesses which have come by. So what do you think that they should focus on pertaining to a marketing strategy, probably to create a strong base? Yeah, what is your view on this?
Okay, so I think the most important aspect for any business, for that matter, whether they are online or
Right.
offline, whether it's pre-pandemic, pandemic or post-pandemic, the most important
Mm-hmm.
aspect is being true to their audience, being true to their customers. Because we have to understand. Yes, I'll take your example again.
Okay.
See, you have a podcast right
Yes.
now, and you have a podcast on entrepreneurship.
Right.
You're talking about the various phases of entrepreneurs or various kinds of
Right.
entrepreneurs. Now, you expect the audience who are interested in entrepreneurship to follow you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, probably who want to become entrepreneurs, who are keen on
Yes.
entrepreneurship. Different forms, you have given nice titles, sidepreneur and mompreneur and all of these,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
mompreneurs. And so when people come in and subscribe to your channel, they are expecting entrepreneurship stories from you,
Yes.
right? They are expecting certain kinds of inputs, certain kinds of stories, or people's journeys about their entrepreneurship journey,
Right.
right? Let's say tomorrow, slightly, if you are talking about something else which is not connected to
Mm.
entrepreneurship,
Mm.
what happens to these people? They would tend to think that, okay, this is not what I
Subscribe for.
subscribed this particular channel for. And many brands, as they grow, we forget the
Mm.
purpose why we started it. We probably want to diversify ourselves too much without actually making arrangements for them. There is nothing wrong in diversification. Shweta can always start a second podcast and probably talk about cooking. There's nothing wrong in it. You get it, right? So you just have to be clear segregation. That brings us to the point of being true to our customers. Whatever methods we choose of
Mm-hmm.
marketing, we just have to never forget what we started as, or what is our audience with us for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They subscribe to us, they joined us, they buy our products and services because we promised them certain
Correct.
things.
Correct.
And every time we just have to fulfill that particular promise and not
Change.
deviate from that. So as long as we promise, deliver what we have promised, you don't have to even exceed it. Just deliver what you promised, and people will stick on to you.
Okay. So one basic rule is, of course, your customers are what you have to, provide. I mean, it could be a product or a service, but you need to offer them whatever is beneficial to them, and they are the main priority in the picture, right?
And delivering what has been
Yes.
promised.
Yes.
You don't have to promise the sky and the moon. See, people don't expect too much.
True.
See, what happens is, let me say, on a scale of 10, let's say you have promised them only two,
Yes.
and they come with expectation of two. You just give them that particular two, they'll be happy.
Right. Right.
But if you promise them three and give two, they won't be happy.
Yes.
So be careful when you're promising something to your audience. Don't promise because you're too excited or because you're too desperate to get an audience
Yes.
or customers, because they are going to leave you sooner or later. And when they leave you, they'll leave a huge void which cannot be filled.
Yes. Absolutely.
So just don't promise too much. Just stay true to your brand, true to what you can offer, and true to your audience. As in with your promise, be realistic with your promise. And I'm sure even if people are less, they'll stick on to you,
Yes.
and that number, that tribe will increase over a period of time.
True. True. It's all about the integrity.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's always about the integrity.
Yes. Okay. Wonderfully said, sir. Thank you for that. Um, so I'm just moving on to the last question before I move on to the last section. So especially during this time, well-being is of utmost importance for anyone, for that matter. Especially now because we are in the pandemic. So what is your workout routine like, and what do you indulge in apart from work?
Okay. See, this is a nice question. As in, right now we are forced to do something physically.
Yes.
See, from childhood, my parents have they were very keen on us getting into some kind of physical activity. They put us into sports, and some. My father used to force me to go out for jogging and all of those, but I never enjoyed. I never enjoyed any kind of a sport. I used to play basketball.
Right.
By my stature does not say that, but I used to always in my high school I used to play basketball, and I was. I can safely say that I was in the team which represented our district at that point of time. I
Okay.
never played though, but I was in the team which represented our district
Wow.
basketball. But I did not continue it later.
All right.
And on and off, I've been doing a lot of things, and I recently joined, for the past 1 year, I was with Cult. I joined Cult and I was enjoying the process, and all of a sudden, pandemic happens, and all the Cult centers shut down.
Right.
And that point of time, what happened was I somehow picked up something which I hated all my life: yoga. I
Oh,
had never enjoyed yoga in my life. I
okay.
thought it is very slow. I don't know. I never enjoyed it. It did not appeal to me at that point of time. I don't know. During pandemic, what happened? Is it because of the time I got, or the free, freedom in terms of the kind of work we were doing, or the
Hmm.
time we got? I started doing it forcefully initially,
Right.
but somehow I picked up a taste for it, and I started enjoying yoga more so when I understood it is more about the mind than the body.
Yes.
And that when I got that realization, and I have been doing that throughout the pandemic continuously, and now I can happily say that I enjoy doing yoga.
Wonderful, sir. So you explored yoga as well.
Exactly, I wanted to try it because there's something which I had a love hate relationship all my life. I remember my father had joined me to yoga class when I was in fourth standard.
Oh,
Fourth
okay.
standard, fifth standard, I was going there. I don't know if it was joining yoga too early. I don't know why I started hating it.
Right.
I never liked it. But yes, as you said, I just wanted. It's like patching up with an old friend.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I have a lot of free time. Let's come and let's see what is it between you and me. Let's
Yes.
patch up once again. It's like having a conversation with a friend. I just started doing it, and somehow I picked the knack for it right now. It's
Wonderful.
not that I do it well, but I enjoy doing it. That's more important.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
I did one more thing. I just invested in a very, very expensive yoga mat.
Oh,
So whenever I
wow.
look at it, I feel guilty of not doing it. So I just roll it out and do it. That is a visual trigger. We need visual triggers for everything, right? So that's a visual trigger. Whenever it is lying in my room, and I am like, okay, I have not done it. I've paid so much for it. Let me do it. So once I get on the mat, it's like 1.5 hour easily again. Again, I don't know. It just takes away like that. 1.5 hour.
Wonderful. I mean, that's really amusing because you're trying to break even with the yoga mat.
No, it's just I believe. See, as human beings,
Yeah.
when we are trying to do something, we need visual cues.
Yes.
Otherwise, we tend to forget a lot of things. It's like when someone is trying to build a body, they have posters of bodybuilders around.
Right.
Why they need some kind of a visual cue? Okay, I need to become like that. So
True.
I wanted to have a visual cue of a yoga. So I just bought some expensive mat and put it in my room. So whenever I see, I should feel guilty. Okay, I have to do it now. I have to do it.
Wonderful. I mean, I so agree with having I have a vision board. I mean, not
Yeah.
just for yoga, but for
Yes. For
everything,
every. Yes.
because that keeps me on track. Okay, even if my mind is like telling something like, okay, no, what are you doing? Or,
Yes.
probably
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
on the downslide of things, then I just need
Hmm.
to look into the vision board and like, okay, nothing doing, let me just go on. That's it, no matter what's happening.
You know what, Shweta? I am a highly visual person. Like
Ah,
I perceive things visually. I
right,
see things visually.
right. Yeah.
And I cannot agree more with you. As in with visual boards, I'm a huge fan of visual boards. I don't have, but I completely agree with the fact that visual elements,
Yes.
visual cues are very important
True.
when we are trying to do something. That reminds us
Yes.
that okay, this is what you want to do. This is why you're doing. Just don't lose the focus.
True.
I realized it with the example of bodybuilders having the posters of the well good bodies,
Yeah.
because that acts as a visual cue and
Right.
forces them not to go away from what they're trying to pursue. So yeah, it's good that you're having a visual board. I,
Yes.
I I don't have one. I have to make one.
Yes, you should. Probably, I'm sure you'll be exploring more other things. And probably the list will go
Probably.
on.
Just trying out a lot of things and keeping what we like and just dropping what we don't like.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wonderful. So we come to the end of the talk. I mean, I call it the Preneur Spotlight section. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to run you through a few questions, and you could answer to me in a word or two, or a couple of sentences. So it's left up
Mm-hmm.
to you. Uh,
Can it be more than that?
Yeah, yeah, it can be. And I would like to say this is as close I can get to quizzing a quiz master.
It's like a rapid fire round right now.
Yes. I'm
Okay.
excited.
Yes, same here.
Okay. So my first question is what is your ikigai? So ikigai is nothing but the reason for your being. So what is that one thing that you do no matter what is happening around the world?
Hmm. Staying calm and happy.
Wow, beautiful.
Trying to be calm, as in I'm aware that I have to be calm. I might not be calm always, but when something is happening around, might be good, might be bad,
Right.
it's just trying to stay grounded and stay calm. It might be something of a great happiness, or something of a something bad.
Mm-hmm.
I just try to tell myself, okay, stay calm, don't get excited or don't get too depressed. It's like this too shall pass away.
Yes.
ये वक्त गुजर जाएगा.
Yes.
That way I try to stay calm.
Beautiful, sir. I was just watching a video, where the person talks about, things are happening outside, but you don't need to
Hmm.
identify yourself with that. You just be there,
Exactly.
just stay grounded, as you mentioned, just stay grounded, stay calm.
Hmm.
I think, or as you said, it shall pass. So,
Yeah, and I don't think I just got it as a enlightenment or revelation. It's gradually has dawned on to me that I have been guilty of acting excitedly, acting. We have made our mistakes,
mhm,
but over a period of time, I have realized that whatever you do, if things have to happen, it'll happen. As in, it will just go on, and as it has to go on.
right.
And I don't know if you know this cockroach story.
What is that?
You know this, right? I'm sure once I tell you, you would recall it.
Okay.
I think Sundar Pichai shared it somewhere. I don't know. I just read it on Facebook, I believe.
Uh huh.
There was this one cockroach. Some people were standing in a restaurant or somewhere,
Uh huh.
and suddenly a lady starts screaming, jumping, screaming around and running around, and everyone is wondering why, what
Okay.
happened.
Okay.
And finally, they realize, okay, she has a cockroach on her body, and she just wants to get that cockroach off her body, and she just somehow pushes it off to a some next person.
Right.
And the next person, he's just staying calm, and he just does this. He just shrugs it off his shoulder. That's
Right.
it. It's the same cockroach, but the way two people
React.
reacted were different. Yeah, different. Okay, so I don't know why they named a lady as someone who got excited and the man as a calm person, but it could be otherwise also. I am not guilty of
Yes.
that, but yes, it could be otherwise also. So I'm just giving a disclaimer. I'm just telling you as I read it.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, so irrespective of what is happening, I think we just have to stay calm. And I try to stay calm. I'm not telling you that I stay calm always, but I'm aware that I have to stay calm.
Right. Right. Okay, fine. Okay, I know you have been an avid reader, so I want to know what books have inspired you over this period of time. I think throughout your journey. I'm gonna
Okay,
no, I
yeah, please go
no,
ahead.
I just said I'm gonna list down all the books now.
Okay, there are many, but I cannot probably recall everything.
Uh-huh.
But the few I can probably recall even in my dreams, even in my sleep also, which have had a huge impact on me personally
Mm-hmm.
to help me stay motivated, to probably help me realize myself, probably shown me a different face of mine. I probably just list on those names. Uh, I started reading avidly when I came to Bangalore and started studying, my graduation, started doing my graduation. That
Right.
is when I picked up knack for, English books. Till
Okay.
then, I used to read Kannada books and all of those, and not much English books. I used to read English, but after coming here, the kind of books I had access to were different. The people I met and the kind of books they recommended were different.
Right.
So one book which I probably gift a lot
Mm-hmm.
to everyone, whenever I want to give to somebody, a very small, tiny book. It's called As a Man Thinketh.
As a man think it. Okay.
As a Man Thinketh by James Allen.
All right.
It has another title called As a Man Think, As You Think. They have multiple titles,
Right.
but I think the original title is As a Man Thinketh.
Okay. Okay.
So that a very tiny book, probably hardly 50 pages or 60 pages,
Mm-hmm.
but a profound book which had a huge impact on me in terms of it talks about the importance of your thoughts.
All right.
And that is one reason why I wanted to name my quiz as Think Quizzing,
Think is it? Yes.
because yeah, that is about thinking. Because
Right.
I felt okay, I thought of becoming a quiz master as I realized it, and so I wanted to name it Think. So everything starts from your thought.
Right. Right.
You think and you become what you thought, right? So
Yes.
that way, this book teaches us to be really careful about the choices of your thoughts
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and to probably nurture your thoughts. So that is a profound book. That is As a Man Thinketh.
Right.
Second one is another tiny book. I am fans of small books. I'm not a fan of huge books,
Okay.
and because I don't continue them a lot. Okay, so I drop them if it is they are huge.
Right.
So second one is also a very small book. It is called Jonathan Livingston Seagull
Ah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
by Richard Bash, B-A-C-H. How do you pronounce it? Bash or Batch?
Yeah.
Richard Bash, Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
Yes.
Another amazing book which I gift a lot. I gift these two books a lot. As a Man Thinketh and Jonathan Livingston Seagull,
Right.
because both are tiny and anyone can read it. So that books talk about a seagull, a bird,
Mm-hmm.
which just questions that is my life all about only eating fishes?
Ah.
Why can't I fly like an eagle? Why can't we seagulls fly like eagles?
Right.
Why are we limited just to fly to a certain level,
Mm-hmm.
then dive to the sea and pick up a fish and be happy about it?
Right.
So that particular one seagull questions their being
Mm-hmm.
and strives to become a better flyer,
Right.
and then ultimately succeeds in becoming that.
Okay.
So that beautiful book taught me to just question status quo, as in question why you should remain as something.
Yes.
Why can't you explore something else? So that is a beautiful book, Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll name you two more books. Third one is another book which taught me to be happy always. Is Tuesdays with Maury
Yeah, I've read that.
by Mitch Albom. You have read it, right?
Yes.
I love the old gentleman, the Maury over there. And just to give a small, two-line summary for the benefit of the audience here,
Yes.
it is about a person called Maury. It is the original story, as in the author Mitch Albom. Maury was his teacher.
Mm.
So when Maury, in his, at the point of his, end years, this Mitch Albom decides to spend weekly once, time weekly once with Maury. Every Tuesday he spends with him,
Yeah.
and that conversation is recorded as Tuesdays with Maury.
Yeah.
So this Maury, the way he leads the life, and even when he's on his deathbed, when he is being, somebody else is changing his adult diapers, the way he takes it, the way he looks at the scene, he just says that I can get to live my life as a kid again. Somebody else changing your diapers is a let's say, a sense of embarrassment, but he sees it as, see, I'm becoming a kid again, someone else is doing all my job, I am getting to sleep and enjoy. So it's just that he just taught me to be happy
Right.
in even on the deathbed. So I love that book, Tuesdays with Maury. And just to mention the last book, the last lecture,
The last lecture. Okay.
the last lecture by Randy Posh.
All right.
That is another amazing book. He
Uh-huh.
was a professor, he was a lecturer, and he gets diagnosed with cancer.
Ah, okay.
Ha, and there is this custom in universities
Mm-hmm.
where a person, when he's retiring or leaving a particular institution, they give their last lecture,
Right.
and people across the college are invited to attend his last lecture.
Right.
So he gives his last lecture because he's going to die.
Mm.
He's diagnosed with cancer, and he knows he's going to die, and here's the story about that.
Okay.
And he talks about a lot of things, childhood dreams and a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part, one line which I like the most is, he says, I'm happy because I'm dying with cancer,
Uh-huh.
and I'm not dying because of heart attack or an accident,
Ah.
because cancer gave him time to prepare his family, prepare himself for the death, prepare his family in every aspect, as in financially, materialistically, emotionally. But if he would have died with a heart attack or accident, he wouldn't have got this privilege, he
True.
says. So he is happy that he did not get a heart attack or accident and he got a cancer.
Right.
That's just one line, but a wonderful book, last lecture. So let's say I just took name. There are many biographies also,
Uh-huh.
and I read a lot of non-fiction, not fictions.
Okay.
So, but these four books have had a profound impact on me.
Wow. Wow. I'm sure to catch the other three books. I know I've read Tuesdays with Maury. So I'll
Mhm.
be sure to, read the other books as well. So thank you for that. All
I'll give
right.
you a bonus question, one more. If you have not read it,
Yes.
there's another one called Man's Search for Meaning.
Oh, I've read that. Viktor Frankl.
Viktor Frankl.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
that is also another. Yeah, you have read it, right?
Yeah.
That is another amazing book.
Yes, it
Nazi
is.
regime and all of those. Yes,
Yes, absolutely.
those are very good.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. So hypothetically, if you turn out to be the richest person in the world tomorrow, so what
Mhm.
would you like to do? Or would you continue to do what you're already doing?
Well, that was a very interesting question, Shweta. If I have all the money in the world, I will still keep doing what I do right now. But certainly, I will do it more efficiently. Now, what I mean by that is, for example, I will recruit a team to do all the repetitive and mundane and regular work for me, so that I can focus on something which is more important and worthy of my time. So, this way, probably I can make use of the resources I have and use my time and effort more efficiently. But certainly, I would keep doing what I'm doing right now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well said. Yes. Okay. So what is the secret of you being productive in the multitude of things that you are doing, like being an academician, a quiz master, a logo designer? So how do you do it all?
See, seriously speaking, I don't consider myself productive. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, frankly speaking, because I feel when I look at people around me, I don't know if they're busy or they're productive, but I consider myself, compared to them, I'm not productive at all.
Mm-hmm.
But if
Mm-hmm.
you ask me how I can do all of this, it is possible because they're not happening at the same time.
Yes. True.
That's as simple as that. Logo designing happens at my free time.
Right.
When I quizzes regularly, I post questions. For that, I have time. I prepare questions and post it every day, and I schedule it. As in, we have a lot of scheduling websites. So I
Right.
use Hootsuite and schedule on that. So that is also not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
My teaching happens at a fixed time, so that is not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Quiz shows happens time whenever it happens. So I arrange everything around that particular event. So it's about priority, right? If I have to do a lot of things, I can definitely find time for it. I think so that way I still feel like I have a lot of time and I can do a lot of time. And I'm guilty of being free most of the times, and I don't know. I'm just guilty of being not productive.
No.
But yes, to answer your question, yes, I can do all of this because they're not happening parallelly. It is not multitasking. I cannot do multitasking.
Right.
Since they have their own set times, I can do all of them.
Yes, I mean, I so agree with, you mentioned that they have their own times. I think pertaining to
Yes.
time blocking, like I set aside a block of time for doing a task or a B task. So that gets done. And I'm totally involved at that point in time and I don't have to bother about any other thing. I think you are doing that. So, and I'm sure.
Probably, unconsciously I'm doing that,
Yes.
but formally I don't have a plan as in a time block.
Correct.
I used to, write content for a brand
Mm-hmm.
on all their social media content.
Right.
As in, I used to write small poems for them,
Uh-huh.
taglines or social media punchlines, everything I used to write for a grocery brand
Right.
online.
Okay.
So that I used to do early in the morning. I don't know why, but I used to feel comfortable. I thought my thought process was good because it was more driven in terms of words. So I
True.
thought that words clarity I will have in the morning. So 6 o'clock or sometime I used to take up a laptop and sit down to. They would have an Excel sheet and they would have said what each line should mean or they say. So I would just sit in the morning.
Right.
So probably for quizzing I would not cannot sit in the morning. It's just that how my mind is comfortable.
True. True. Yes, I mean, wonderful. And I would also like to tell the listeners that you can probably check out Think Quizzing's Instagram or Facebook page, or LinkedIn as well, where you get to probably learn some more, probably through the quiz questions which Sridhar sir puts across, and it's very interesting. I'm sure. I think it's already like 900 odd questions, right? I think 950. I think you crossed 950.
952. Yeah,
952. Yes.
952
Yes.
yesterday questions.
Yes, that's amazing. I mean, I have looked through some, but at times I'm like, okay, I'm always like, okay, what is this? What is the answer for this? But
So
yes,
that is the point, right?
yes,
Because when you look at the question, you would not know it, but
yeah,
later you would understand it, right? When
correct.
later you will know, oh, this is the answer. So that is think. That is what I think stands for me.
Absolutely. I think for all the quizzing enthusiasts, I think you should, probably check out these pages on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. So get quizzed. All right.
Thank you, Shweta, for that.
Yes. Okay, a last couple of questions. Okay, one is, what is your definition of success?
This is something which is very philosophical and which is very very serious.
It's okay.
I would like to take a couple of minutes to answer it. Okay.
Please, please, please do.
Yeah. See, the definition of success has evolved as I have grown up. As in, no, of course, we have all the elements of money, happiness, materialistic value.
Right.
All of those are yes relevant and staying there. But as of now, if you ask me, I have come to an understanding
Mm-hmm.
that I can divide success in two parts. Because one is internal and external.
Right.
Now, internal, I feel it is contentment,
Mm-hmm.
fulfillment,
Mm-hmm.
not complacency. Okay, not stopping or not being happy with what you already are, but a sense of contentment and fulfillment. I'll tell you why I got this thought process
Mm-hmm.
of internal contentment. See, I you might be aware of Robin Williams.
Yes. Yes.
He's a
An
English
actor.
actor,
Yeah.
and Anthony Bourdain. He was one of my favorite TV hosts.
Right.
He was a cook. He
Yeah.
was a chef. He was a cook. Cook show book
Yes.
author, traveler. Both from America, and Anthony Robbins. Like who doesn't know him? Any
Right.
film fan would know him.
Right.
And I love the film. Dead Poet Society.
Oh yes.
Dead Poet Society.
Yeah.
He was a teacher in that particular film.
Yeah.
I love these two guys, and to the world, they seem successful.
Mm-hmm.
They are top names in their area of work. He's Anthony Bourdain is well known in the cookery circle, and Robin Williams as a wonderful actor, great actor. He was won a I believe Academy Award also
Yes.
for one of the roles. I think I don't remember the film for which
Mrs.
he
Mrs.
won an actor.
Doubtfire, I think.
I don't think so. Not that
Not
film.
that one.
He
Okay.
has acted in the film, but I don't think he won an Academy Award for that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think Goodwill Hunting.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Goodwill Hunting. I think he won a best supporting role for Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah. Right.
Now let's see these two people who are extremely successful to the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
They committed suicide.
Yeah.
Both of them committed suicide. Now that put me into thinking. Like there are many, but these two, I was a fan of these two guys,
Right.
and I was a fan of Anthony Bourdain, his swag, style, and leather jacket. I used to drool over that leather jacket, and
Yes.
I always have this wish I have to wear a leather jacket like him and host a quiz on stage someday.
Mm.
That kind of affection I had for him, and both of them died by suicide.
Yeah.
That got me to thinking that it seems everything is fine, and they feel successful in every aspect. Monetarily they're successful, name wise they're successful, they have fans, name, fame, everything they have.
Yes.
But still they have something which is killing them, right?
Yeah.
So I understood that internally, if they're not happy for whatever reasons, be it personal reasons or professional reasons, I don't know if so. We have to be really happy internally. First of all, we have to be really contented, fulfilled with our journey. And my understanding is that, see, we attach our sense of success to certain points.
Mm-hmm.
That once I become this, I feel I am successful. Once I reach this point, I feel I am successful.
Correct.
But that point might come 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. So are we going to be unhappy all these 5 years till you reach that point?
Correct.
No one knows when we reach that point, or it might drag further.
Yes.
So as long as we are in that journey of accomplishment, as long as we know that we are doing what we want to do, I think we have to be feeling successful. I don't know if the world calls us successful, but if I know that I am going or putting my steps in the right path of what I want to do, I am successful.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether I reach it in 1 year or 2 years or 10 years or I never reach it. I don't know. But I cannot, I just have to give that benefit to myself. Again, I should be fair to myself to say that I am doing what I want to do, irrespective of the outcome of it.
True.
Because the outcome is, we know what is the outcome. The world need not know it. We don't have to be Shah Rukh Khan. The entire world cannot be Shah Rukh Khan, right? Where the success is like a story,
Yes.
that fairy tale. We cannot have it. So we just have to be fair to ourselves and don't beat ourselves up. And as long as we are on the right path, which we chose, and of course we can consider ourselves successful. And in that sense, I consider myself successful,
Yes.
and I don't have to give that definition to anybody, right? People find whatever they want to, they might even call Bill Gates unsuccessful. I don't know, but it's just that it's their opinion.
Yes.
So that way I call internal contentment, internal fulfillment, not complacency, not repeating again,
Yes.
as one aspect. The external aspect I call is being valuable to someone else, being of value to someone else always. As long as we are, let's say, present or active
Right.
or alive, if you are adding value to somebody,
Yes.
need not be explicitly, if somebody can listen to you and they find a good path, they read about you and they are happy to do whatever they want to do.
Right.
That way you might not be explicitly being a part of anybody's journey, but if you are adding value to somebody's life, your own life, your family's friends, some other people, some strangers, I think that is the external definition of success for me. For me, as I told you, for me,
Yes.
it depends on different people. So these are two ways I look at success: being happy and contented always, and being of value to others.
So beautiful, sir. I mean, that's so amazing for you to have shared that, because I think as a society, we always look into very materialistic milestones, like, probably a very high paying job, or being in a good relationship, or having all the materialistic wealth. Probably at times, or we have seen that the society thinks that is being successful. But no, that's not it. And I think. Entrepreneurs, or the sidepreneurs like you, or the academicians like you, who are exploring a whole multitude of things, and who are doing a lot of things, and putting something of value to others, I think that itself is success. And yes, I agree that it is very subjective.
Very
But
subjective,
yes,
yes.
very subjective, but I mean, so wonderful that you think of that as success. So beautiful. Thank you. All right. So one last thing, what would you like to say to the people who want to explore and also start their own venture? It could be probably their own, like a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, or people who are already on this journey are probably wondering how to go ahead or scale their business. So what would you like to say to them?
Okay. Let's say you have some passion which you think you can convert into a profession. Okay.
Hmm.
Because a passion, if you want to have it as just passion, you don't have to worry about monetizing it.
Yes.
But when you want to monetize it, then you have to think about practical aspects. Let's say one example: if you are already in a job
Hmm.
and you have another passion which you want to take up like full time, I personally feel it is completely dumb of somebody to jump into it directly.
Yes.
We get hyped up looking at the success stories. We get hyped up listening to a lot of motivational, speeches and stories. We
Right.
forget the reality. See, we have bills to pay. We have a family to take care. We have ourselves to take care, if not the family, let's say.
True.
Of course, you have to put in efforts to grow that passion of yours
Hmm.
and monetize it till the point where you think it is the right time for you to probably leave this job and jump in there because that passion pays your bill.
Yes.
If you just jump in without any preparation, then probably you not everyone will be successful.
Right.
Okay. See, we listen to a lot of success stories of startups and everything is fine, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure out of 100, success startups, 2, 3 are success,
Yes.
whose stories are hyped up.
Yes.
But let's say around 90% or more than that are failures.
True.
Failures monetarily. Of course, the learnings people would have got from it might be tremendous. But
Mm.
let's say as in a output, as in a product, as in monetary wise, revenue wise, profit wise, they might be failures.
Yes.
So it might be not right for everybody to jump in without proper, insurance, as in a proper backup plan. So if you have a job, please keep that job. Don't jump in directly.
Yes.
And meanwhile, nurture the passion.
Mm-hmm.
You have a job till a particular time, what 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever. Probably next 4 to 5 hours, nurture the other passion.
Right.
If that particular passion has the ability to grow into a profession, and if you find the smart ways to make monetize it
Monetize.
and earn enough money for you to get the confidence to jump from your current job and take that full time. I think that is the right time to jump in.
Yes.
Otherwise, jumping in directly is like jumping into water without knowing swimming, believing that you will learn swimming. You might learn swimming, but nevertheless, it's always a risk factor.
Yes. Yes.
So I feel you just be prepared and make sure your family, yourselves, your bills are not affected. Because when that reality strikes in, your passion oozes out. It just
Yes.
fizzes out.
True.
So it draws back us to our financial education, financial literacy. Be financially prepared also.
Yes. Yes. So true. I mean, so thank you, sir. I mean, for those wise words. I think we all need to figure out and find out if we can, go forward with our passion or dreams, but make sure that you have a plan per se as to how you're going to go about it. So thank you for that. Sir, how can one reach out to you?
My see, I am available on all social media platforms. On Facebook, our thinking page is quizzing page is called Think Quizzing. It's spelled as th.inkquizzing. So it is th.ink quizzing. Think Quizzing. On Instagram and on Facebook, you can find me as Think Quizzing. On LinkedIn, you can find me as Sridhar H.R. On Facebook also, you can find me as Sridhar H.R. So I have Facebook. I have a two different identity as as my quizzing page and as an individual professional. And LinkedIn, you can find me as Sridhar H.R.
Sure. Yes. Thank you, sir. So I shall surely be, leaving these links in the episode description. So I would like to thank you again for being out here and sharing your inspiring story, and and I think and talking about all the hats that you've donned, and very successful hats. So thank you for that, and being and letting us know about the insights and your wisdom in your journey as an sidepreneur or an academician or a quiz master, and a logo designer as well. So thank you so much. It was such an honor to have you here. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Shweta. It was a pleasure. It was more like talking to old friend. We have a lot of
Ah.
things to catch up. It felt more like that. It never felt like somebody's asking me questions as a quiz master or
Yes.
interviewing me like a journalist. It was
Right.
more as a natural flow of thoughts. So it was very nice, and I don't know if my story was inspiring,
It
but if
was.
somebody can find some inspiration from the story, I'll be more than happy. Uh, you know, yes, thank you very much for inviting me, and I'm honored, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, sir. I'm very sure that listeners out there will surely find it inspiring and also interesting, and would also probably take the next step of getting closer to their passion. Thank you so much, sir. Yes.
Thank you very much, Shweta. Thank you. Bye.